Alrighty, my friends and my fellow gamers, hello and welcome. Excuse me. It would help if I didn't have a frog in my throat as I started my stream today. Welcome to the gameplay stream. Hello, hello, hello. Today is Sunday, July 8th, 2018. I am Darkside Phil. I strongly welcome you to today's gameplay stream. You may be wondering what's going on. Well, first of all, today I am coming back from my day off, which was quite good, by the way. Thank you for a fun and restful day. Unplugged mostly from the internet, which I definitely need when I have my day off to not be worrying about, you know, YouTube and Twitch and gaming-related crap, and instead just kind of spending time with my girl and having fun, which I did. It was a good day. I am back for a full week of gameplay streaming for you guys, with one minor exception, which I'll talk about during today's pre-stream quickly here. I belch loudly for you. So there you go. Welcome to the summer heat. Many of us are going through some pretty big heat waves right now, especially if you live in the United States. This past week, on and off in different various places of the week, have been very hot, hot, hot. This was no exception here in Washington. We actually had a huge heat wave this last week for about 2 days. Now it's cooler, a little bit on the cooler side again. But later this week, around Thursday-ish, we're supposed to get another big heat wave for multiple days. So, I know many of you are trying to stay cool. And hopefully one way that you could do it is staying indoors. Maybe with air conditioning and watching my streams. So, welcome. Welcome, everyone, to a very fun stream. Today's stream is something very much, it took a long time to happen. Let me put it that way. If you remember way back when, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away, when I used to not even live stream, although eventually I did begin live streaming during the era when I was playing these games, I started playing retro classics from the PS2 era that I had never played before. And some of these classics included games like Ratchet and Clank, okay, as well as Jak and Daxter. And in particular, there was a collection that came out. I believe at this point it was around 4 to 5 years ago. Don't quote me on that. I think it was around 5 years ago, this collection. Okay. And it's the Jak and Daxter Collection. It's a collection of the 3 original trilogy games of the Jak and Daxter series, remade in HD on the PlayStation 3. Okay. Now, this is many, 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 many years ago. All right. And I was actually gifted this collection by, you know, my viewer fan, and then, you know, eventually became my friend, the Airy Lord, who was a huge fan of this series, one of his most favorite series growing up. And he gifted me his collection and said, you know, on the premise that you're going to eventually play all these games and then you could give it back to me, you know, here is my collection. All right. Now, here's the history of what happened here. I played the original Jak and Daxter, if I remember correctly, pretty quickly. I think it was in the first year or so that Airy Lord gave me the collection, that I actually played it right away. Then I remember I wanted to give it some time. Alright. And then I was going to play Jak 2, which I eventually did. I remember there was some clamor for it. When's Phil going to play it? And then eventually I did play it. And I remember that game gave me incredible amounts of rage. It was so difficult. Some of the timed races and things you had to do in that game just drive me up the wall batty. Okay. And so then, by the way, I should bring this up. Both games I believe I played during summer downtime, if I remember correctly. In particular, Jak 2, I remember, was a summer downtime game. Because typically, as you guys know, during the summertime, there's no new releases. For whatever reason, these game developers do not release the big new high-profile games during the summer. It's just always freaking slow. Okay? So, after obviously playing 1 and 2... some people ask, well, when's 3 going to be coming out? When are you going to be playing 3? When are you going to do it? Okay. Well, I always said, well, you know, we'll see. I've already played a lot. At the time, also, I had played Ratchet and Clank 1 and then eventually 2. And I said, you know, we don't want to get burnt out playing the same kind of game over and over. And definitely interest wanes when you have the same kind of game over and over and over. And so I said, you know what? I would give it some time. Give it some time, you know. So we can have, you know, interest build up. All right, and then once the interest builds up, then we'll play it again. And so I remember, I believe it was actually about a year, the next summer, where people started clamor again for, when are you going to play Jak 3? When are you going to play Jak 3? In fact, the Airy Lord himself always asking, when are you going to play it? You still got my collection. When the hell are you going to play this game? And I remember over the years, because if you remember 2015, I adopted Patreon. And I started doing patron polls where people who had pledged to my Patreon were able to nominate and vote on games for playthroughs and the like. And let me tell you, Jak 3 always was a game that ended up getting nominated, that a lot of the times ended up making it to like the final poll. However, over all the years that I've been doing things like Patron's Choice and everything, Jak 3 never won. In fact, in the most recent Patron's Choice poll, Jak 3 was leading the charge, get this, until the final few days. It was like maybe 3-4 days before the poll was going to end. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Half-Life 2 and Simpsons Hit and Run jumped in front of Jak 3, and then Half-Life 2 ended up winning. So recently, as you guys know, there's never been that much going on, because there's no new releases around this summertime. So I played Half-Life 2 as a Patron's Choice playthrough, and then I ended up playing the second place game, Simpsons Hit and Run, as well, both playthroughs ended up being pretty good and popular playthroughs. People coming by every single day on stream, loving what they were seeing. On YouTube, it's hit or miss. Typically on YouTube, when I play a retro game, the first couple videos get attention. After that, people are like, nah, it's an old game I already saw, or I already played, and then they go away. And I expect that. There's not much you could do about that, especially during the summertime, when there's very much, not much to attract new people to your content. You pretty much rely on your core fan base. And that's very much what I've been doing recently with all these retro playthroughs I'm doing, okay? So, Jak 3. Finally, I said, you know what? I looked at my schedule, and I was like, you know what? People aren't really digging Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered, and that's a playthrough that I know I would like to keep going, but I know people are not really liking it that much. It's a game that has not aged very well, that's for sure. Very repetitive style gameplay and not much story. And I just wrapped up Simpsons Hit and Run actually faster than I thought I would. I thought it was going to take me much longer to beat that game, based on the level of difficulty people told me it would be in it, but somehow I beat it. And I was like, well, I think then that since this is the case, all right, and since we're going to be having a summer full of kind of empty shit, not much going on at all right, that I think that what we're going to do is we're going to play Jak 3. Finally, after almost 5 years at this point of people asking for it, we're going to play it. This way, we'll put an end to the classic trilogy, right? Those who've been dying to see it for the longest time will finally be satisfied, okay? And it'll give me something to do. I assume the game's probably around 15 to 20 hours long. Typically, the Jak games are around that length. And so it'll give me something to do for several streams for about a week or two. I'm going to balance this out with Persona 5, which, by the way, I just resumed last Friday. So if you guys, weren't aware, my Persona 5 playthrough very much has continued, and you should go check that out. Okay. In addition, I am going to still continue with Red Faction Guerrilla, but it may not be a game that I play that often, or when I do play it, maybe it'll be a random mainstream, once a week, and then maybe I'll do a nighttime stream or two of it, okay, since it isn't getting much attention. I'm not quitting it, but I'm certainly not going to make it a priority game if people aren't really enjoying it that much, all right? And I'm going to balance these 3 games along with things like Street Fighter. I'm going to be playing the Street Fighter Collection more. And, yes, I am going to be returning to some Battle Royale style stuff. Tomorrow night, in fact, I'm going to be trying out H1Z1, which got a big patch update last week. Alright, so there you go. There you go. That's the deal. For at least the next week or two, we're going to balance through all these games. And then once I get further in, then we'll determine what's next. I've had a lot of different suggestions of games that will be coming up for summer downtime, including things such as Knights of the Old Republic, Vice City, Silent Hill 2, just among a few. That's just a few off the top of my head that people have been asking for. So we'll see. We'll see how the summer goes, and based on how I do with these games, how long they take to complete, we'll see what else we want to mix into the schedule, okay? All right. So, my friends, thank you for being here for this epic premiere of Jak 3. I certainly hope you enjoy. By the way, just for clarification's sake, I am playing the PlayStation 3 version, since this is the same exact collection that I had from like 4 or 5 years ago. So it is the PS3 version. It is going to be running at 720p because that's the graphical, the native graphics that this game runs at. And therefore, my stream will be running at 60 frames per second, although I have no clue if this game actually runs at it. But it just makes sense. I could handle that, so that's what we're going to be doing for the length of this playthrough, okay? Now, outside of this, I have a few other things I need to talk about on Prestream today, guys, so please bear with me. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, but, you know, very important. This is the first day. This is technically the first day of my streaming week, so there's a few things I'd like to discuss. First off, guys, just so you guys know, today is the final day to contribute if you would like to get onto the top 10 cheers leaderboard for the week. It has been an obviously outstanding week for support, and, you know, lots of people who were very, very supportive this week, and I am very appreciative of that. After tonight, it resets from Monday, so FYI, you know, if you want to get onto that leaderboard, final day to make a move before it resets overnight. That's number one, all right? Number two, gonna have a little bit of real talk with you guys regarding myself and the business and everything going on right now, all right? Very quickly. But right now is the summertime. Sadly, in the summertime, it means YouTube is terrible. What I mean by that is, I'll give you some perfect perspective. This first week of July was actually very good, with Simpsons Hit and Run, plus the conclusion of Half-Life 2, plus Red Faction Guerrilla, plus I played a bunch of fighting games, Fighting EX Layer plus Street Fighter. Basically, this week, my views were up a big way, too, like in a big chunk compared to June. June was actually quite slow the second half of the month, but July actually picked up, if you can believe it. Big views, okay? However, and this is no exaggeration, I made half as much money in July so far, the first week of July, as I did in May or June. So I'm making half as much money every day as I just was a month ago on YouTube. Why? Is it because Phil's not, no one's watching Phil's stuff? No, it's the opposite. People are watching more of my stuff, but the ad revenue is terrible on YouTube because YouTube sucks. They don't do a good job of selling ad space. They've lost tons of their major advertisers because their website's automated, and advertisers don't like the fact that their advertisements show up on videos that, number one, are videos about stuff they don't want to advertise on, like controversial political topics, racist-style videos, terrorist videos, etc. And number two, they don't feel their advertisement is effective. Because let's face it, guys, let's face it, the top guys on YouTube literally cater to children. They dress up like cartoon characters and Muppets. They dance around. They scream at the top of their lungs. They act like idiots. They have a very, very large child viewer base. And children don't have fucking money to buy products. Yet these guys get the most and most profitable advertisements on YouTube. And so these advertisements are highly ineffective. Okay? So that being said, YouTube has had a horrendous time the past year and a half to 2 years of trying to retain advertisers. During good advertisement time, so I'll give you an example. Early on in June when E3 is launching, huge. You get tons of video game ads. In the fall, huge, because everyone's advertising their new products, their new games for the Christmas season. But early on in the year, as well as the summer, are completely dead. They cannot get advertisement revenue because no one wants to advertise on their fucking website. That being said, people like me get hurt the most because I'm working my butt off. I'm entertaining you guys. Despite the fact there's no new games, here I am entertaining you. You guys are being awesome. You're coming out. You're watching the streams. You're watching the videos on YouTube. But I get paid half as much. That's not good. And, you know, it sucks because I still have bills to pay. I still have other responsibilities. You know, even though YouTube can't do their job in the summer, you know, it doesn't mean that I have an unlimited budget like Google does. So, what I would ask you is this, guys. If you would like to see me continue to do this full time, you support what I do, you like what I do, if you at all can, please come out to the streams and please be supportive on the streams. All right? That's the way that we're going to get through the shitty, slow summer season. It's the way I always have. And in particular, last year was the first year with the YouTube adpocalypse. And really the only reason that I was able to kind of, you know, get through this whole time was because you guys were very supportive during the summer. All right. And then once we got to the fall, there was the big advertisement boom. So that worked out really well. But, you know, it makes me very nervous. It absolutely makes me very nervous when I'm working my butt off and everyone's loving what I'm doing. I'm getting tons of positive feedback. And then I go look and say, oh, you made half as much money today as you did the past 2 months. Like, wow, well, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you, YouTube. Because you guys don't know how to do your fucking jobs. You know, it's their job to go out and recruit advertisements and seek this out to make their website more lucrative for their content creators, and they just don't do it. They don't do a good job of it. They never have. They kind of were like just sat on their asses and wrote algorithms and thought that, oh, let the money roll in, and sadly those good times just aren't there anymore. So please, guys, if you love what I do, you want to see me continue to be able to do it, and you want to see me get through this very slow summer, you like what I'm doing, please, if you can, show up to the streams, and please be supportive on the streams. Because Twitch is on the up. I mean, that's kind of the complete polar opposite here. On YouTube, things are falling out. On Twitch, things are going up. I'm seeing more profitability, more overall viewers, more followers. Things are going really good on Twitch, and I want to keep that momentum going. I want to keep this going. I want Twitch to become my main source of income that takes over everything. I don't have to worry about YouTube fluctuating or any shit like that. And by the way, in the last year and a half that I've been doing it like this, streaming, we have seen massive positive progress overall, and overall things are getting better and better and better. So let's just keep that positivity going, all right? Just wanted to bring this up because a lot of you guys don't know what happens behind the scenes, right? And I just want to bring it up so you know what's happening and know that I'm heavily relying on you guys to be supportive here on the streams to really get by in the next few months. You know, once we hit September-ish and all the advertisement revenue picks up and there's a ton of new releases and people are coming out to watch them anyway, that's great, but I really need your support right now during these slower summer months on YouTube, okay? All right, thank you. All right, now, let us continue, guys. What I'd like to do is very briefly go through a plug segment. As you guys know, I do every stream. And then we're going to get to shout-outs. A lot of people have been cheering here on the pre-stream. As you can see, since this is a retro throwback playthrough, I am going to be doing a stream stats leaderboard for it to give you credit for your cheers, subs, and tips. So, there you go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us now begin. Let's do some plugs, quick plugs. All right, and then let's continue with the stream. So, thank you guys very much for 10 years of support. For 10 years, I have been one of the people putting out daily gameplay experiences on the internet. You guys have been incredibly supportive, watching the videos, and then later on jumping on and you know, accepting the streams into your lives on a daily basis, and I very much appreciate that. The best way that you can support me and my stuff is to watch it. That's pretty much a no-brainer. Obviously, you can also tell friends, relatives, etc. about it if you think that my stuff is great and you want people to check it out. I appreciate that. But there are other ways that you can go above and beyond and help support my content. All right, you may say, well, what are those ways? Allow me to tell you those ways. All right, first of all, there's my Patreon, which you can check out at patreon.com/darksidephil. If you check out my Patreon, and you'll see it's a monthly pledge campaign by which your pledges unlock rewards for you guys. You know, different reward levels. Now, obviously, it helps me out. It helps me out with the cost of business, affording all the video games, the equipment, the electricity, the internet bills, paying for my own health insurance, everything involved in operating this business. But it benefits you for what you get back via the form of perks. And I'll give you an example. The best perk, in my opinion, is the $5 level. If you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon during any given month, you end up being able to nominate and vote on things for special events. So, for example, there's going to be a Rage-a-thon that's going to take place in August, and people who pledged to my Patreon last month are going to be nominating and voting on those games starting tonight for what they want to see in that event. A special marathon event of games to cause me rage, okay? This month, if we hit the funding, or excuse me, if we hit the subscriber goal here on my channel on Twitch, which is 485 subscribers, if we can hit that at any time, then people who pledge to my Patreon are going to be nominating and voting on anything that I've put out in the past 10 years that is readily available to watch on my channels on the internet. And what I mean by that is any playthrough, any moment of a playthrough, a vlog, you know, anything, a countdown, you know, Game of the Year awards, anything, a series where you really enjoyed it, and you can still see it on YouTube, because the reason I say that is because many videos have been taken down for copyright, for content ID match, for various reasons, and obviously those I don't want to put into a marathon that's then going to get shut down for those reasons. But outside of those, you know, 10 years, over 60,000 videos, everyone has their favorites of what they think is some of the best stuff I've ever done. So pledging to my Patreon this month, you'll be able to nominate and vote on your favorite things that I've put out in the past 10 years for a special celebratory event in the fall, where I'll be streaming these things. We'll all be watching them together, all right, and we'll be, you know, reacting to them. You know, how different is modern Phil from classic Phil, right? 10 years ago, how different was my style from today? I would love to sit here and watch that stuff back with you guys. So that's the goal for this month. But you see, Patreon's awesome. You get unlimited, well, I don't want to say unlimited, I want to say unprecedented control over what I do during special events and special times, all right? So please check it out over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. And please consider pledging to the campaign. Thank you to anyone who has in the past. And thank you to anyone considering. By the way, I should mention, that's not the only perk you get. There's many perk levels you can get. You know, getting private Q&A videos and stuff. Go give it a look yourself. And thanks to anyone who does contribute. All right. Number 2, if you're blind, you probably don't know about this. But if you have eyeballs, you've probably been watching the pre-stream. And you see I have a Teespring store full of a variety of merch. Great quality stuff. I can personally attest to the quality because I own a bunch of the shirts and the mug. And I've owned some of them for over a year. They have not worn out whatsoever. The shirts I've worn dozens of times, if not more. The mug I've washed a bunch of times. You know, use it every day on stream. No problems. Nothing wears out. It's great quality stuff. If you buy anything from my Teespring, I get a commission. And you get a cool collectible. So you can check this out at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. By the way, I should say shout out to Hermano Carl. All right, Hermano Carl, who designed a lot of this pre-stream artwork recently. Maybe looking at the stream, he's like, whoa, I haven't been here for a few days. What is all this? It looks so different. Yes, Hermano Carl designed all of this cool pre-stream artwork for us. I'm very appreciative that he did because it looks really nice. So shout out to him. Okay. Last but not least, if you guys are actually here live on the stream and you're excited, you want to help out and support, you want to maybe interact a bit, and you want to shout out during the stream, well, you can get a shout out 3 different ways. You can either cheer with bits, subscribe to my channel, or you can tip me. If you do any of these 3 things, all right, it helps me out tremendously, obviously, and I appreciate any of your support, but you will get a verbal shout out for your contributions, all right? Pretty nice. Now, there's a couple criteria very briefly. Please stay positive. Don't be toxic. Stay on topic. Try to be short-worded, as concise as possible. You know, very general, basic criteria that every streamer should probably be abiding by. I don't abide toxicity in here. I don't want drama. I just want fun and us having genuine fun interactions during the stream. You know, joking around is fine, but bringing up controversial topics like politics or religion, insulting myself or other viewers, all these things are not allowed. Do not bring up other people like detractors and outsiders. It's strictly against the rules to do so. This is a place for us to hang out and have fun, not to be bringing up negative crap. This is not that kind of a place, all right? So thanks to anyone who, is looking for a shout-out and who cheers, subs, or tips today. I appreciate that. Now, if you'd like to go a step above that, maybe you'd like to get a nice animation to play on the stream as a thank you for your contributions, you could do that as well. To do that, you either need to cheer 50 bits or more in one single cheer, or you can subscribe to my channel, and after waiting a few minutes, there's a share button that appears. Click that share button, or you could tip me $5 or more in one single tip. If you do any of those things, you'll get a cool thank you animation designed by Popsicolo, longtime viewer, fan, and stream chat moderator. All right. Sorry, I really had to take a sip. My mouth was very dry all of a sudden. But yeah, you get a cool thank you animation to play on stream. You can also choose whether or not to put a shout-out message in that animation, or if you just want to leave an anonymous, say, for example, a tip. You could leave an anonymous tip or whatever. You can do that as well. You don't have to leave a message, but you still get a cool animation. All right. So, thanks to anyone who cheers, subs, and tips. As you guys can also see on the top of the screen, we've got the Stream Stats leaderboard by which I'll be tracking subscribers, the top cheer, and the top tip for the day. And so if you are the current top cheerer or top tipper, you'll make it up there and get constant, attention, not only on the stream, but these are also videos recorded for YouTube. So you get all that, okay? Pretty nice. Now, I've already mentioned subscribing. I've already mentioned that subscribing allows us to contribute to a monthly goal, which is the upcoming 10 Years of Rage anniversary event marathon, which I already mentioned, where you can nominate your favorite moments over my 10 years to be watched back together and reacted to on a stream. But in addition to that, if you subscribe to the channel, what else do you get? Guess what? You get emotes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you get emotes. All kinds of fun stuff, including Street Fighter related ones and the like. that you can use in the stream chat. People really love the emotes that you can get for being a subscriber on this channel. Number 2, you don't have to watch advertisements when I run them. Typically, I run 1 to 2 ad breaks during every stream. And number 3, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been an ongoing supporter and subscriber. Okay? So there you go. All those benefits. Please consider subscribing. Thanks to anyone who does. You guys are awesome. Last but not least, I've mentioned tipping several times during the course of today's stream. And you might be wondering, I don't understand what's tipping because I know how to cheer and sub. Those are all done right here through Twitch right in front of me. What is tipping? What's the difference and how do I do it? Well, first of all, being very honest with you guys right now for the next couple of days, tipping is the best way you guys can support me. The reason being is if you send me a tip, I get that right away. That goes into my bank account and I can send that immediately to my bank to pay bills. All right? And right now, all my bills have cleared within a short period of time. I've been very nervous about having my bank account overdrawn these past couple of days. Luckily, it hasn't yet, but I still got 2 to 3 more days to get through before I start receiving my payments from May for things like YouTube and Twitch, okay? So that being said, right now, tips are the best way to help. It'll allow me to get through the next few days and not have to worry about overdrafting my freaking accounts and stuff like that, okay? How do you tip? What's the difference? Well, the thing is you tip me via PayPal, which means I get those funds right away. How do you tip? Well, if you look below the stream right now, you should see a button that says Tips Jar. Click on that button. It'll take you to that PayPal tips page. You can either leave an anonymous tip, or you can leave a name and a message if you want that shout out during the stream like I've already mentioned. Or if you don't see that Tips Jar button, you can just type !tip into the stream chat. It brings up the command. Boom, it'll post the link. You click on that link. Now you're on the PayPal tips page in a different manner, all right? So thanks to anyone who tips. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me out the most for the next few days. And after a few days, I start getting paid, I won't have to mention this anymore. So that's the good thing. But please, anyone, if you want to help the most, that's the way you can do it, okay? All right, now, guys, it's time for shout-outs. Finally, we get to the shout-outs for people who have contributed here during the pre-stream. But before we even get to that, I want to thank the people who contributed for the past few days when I wasn't here. As you guys know, I had yesterday off, my day off from streaming, and people still showed up to be supportive, and I want to give credit where credit is due. So first of all, thanks to Infinite55, who did a 105-bit cheer. Thank you very much. HardyBuck5 cheered and said, thoughts on Dead Island 2 still in development 4 years after it was announced. At this point, I don't know if that game's ever coming out. I mean, Dead Island, does anyone even think of Dead Island anymore? It came out during that era of zombie hype. If you guys remember, Dead Island 1 was a game that I played way back in the day, before I ever live streamed. And it was a very high scale and complicated cooperative playthrough that I did with a few other friends of mine. And even though it didn't go exactly according to plan, it still ended up being a pretty fun playthrough, very unique from a 4-player co-op perspective. People really loved it. Then Dead Island Riptide came out, which was kind of like Dead Island 1.5, and honestly, didn't do very well. The formula kind of fell apart with the fact they didn't really add anything new to the game. It was highly repetitive and just the same kind of shit over and over. And at that time, the zombie craze was dying out and no one really cared about it anyway. You know, things like The Walking Dead and stuff were finally getting played out. Now, here we are. How many years later? Dead Island 2. Zero info. You know, nothing at E3 about it. I mean, is this game even still being made? You know what I mean? Like, what is going on with this game? Who knows? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not really excited at all about it. I don't really care about Dead Island anymore. You know, that was a game franchise from way back when, and, you know, yeah, if they had kept it going and you know, had stuff, you know, to keep it alive, or at least given us some updates, maybe I would have cared. I don't care anymore. You know, unless they come out and they say, wow, here it is after so many years in the dark, and it's amazing, it blows you away, it's so revolutionary, here it is. Unless it's like that, if it's just more of the same, I'm like, fuck that, let's just skip it or something. I don't even know why I'm going to play it, right? So, you know, hilarious, because I didn't even remember this game was being made until Hardy Buck cheered and said this, so, huh. Alright, that Anana Bunny resubbed for the 13th month in a row and said, I'm still here. Well, thank you, that Anana Bunny, for the 13 months of support and the resub. I appreciate it. Hands Celebratory did 100-bit cheers and have some bits filled. Thank you, Hands Celebratory. And Austin Mink resubbed for the 2nd month in a row. Thank you, Austin Mink, for the 2 months of support. Alright, so those are people who contributed yesterday when I was not here. Now let's get to people who cheered, subbed, or tipped during today's stream. Okay? So let's do it. Alright? Alright. Zadai is okay. Zadai. Alrighty, let's get to it. So, starting off with Dusty Dead. Dusty Dead, who just resubscribed to the channel for the 3rd month in a row. And he says, Phil, you should do Sellout Sundays. People can donate, and a video plays. Your mods can watch the 5-second video to make sure it's okay for viewers before it pops up on stream. No. No, that sounds stupid. The Honest Troll. Cheers said, are we ever going to get an update on the issue you alluded to but couldn't talk about? Right now, I don't have any updates. If and when I have updates and I can talk about something, I'll always tell you guys. If I have nothing that I can talk about, I won't tell you guys. It's that simple. But yeah, you know, sadly, I'm in a situation where once again, things were actually going quite good. And then I got bad news about something that I cannot control, has nothing to do with anything that I've done wrong or anything like that. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Again, out of fucking nowhere, some bad news. And basically, I'm in the midst of dealing with all of that, all right? If and when I have more information for you guys, I will let you know. But I'm not going to jump the gun and tell you guys stuff until I absolutely know what's going on with something. That would be a waste of my time, so. All right. Shout out to HardyBuck5, who did a 100-bit cheer. He says, the Jak 3 playthrough, 6 years in the making, finally here. Are you playing the PS3 or PS4 version? Well, I've already answered this question on Prestream. You already know it's the PS3. However, HardyBuck with a 100-bit cheer. HardyBuck5. HardyBuck is now on the leaderboard. Thank you very much, HardyBuck, to be the top cheerer so far today. Continuing on, the Lollipop cheer says, but noticing you call fans friends, it's great. It shows connection between us and you. Some people can't be your friends because of drama or whatever. We will gladly be your friends. You know, it's funny. Obviously, with any of you guys, I can't have a personal, close relationship. You guys know that. You know? Talking with hundreds, if not thousands of people over the internet on a daily basis, there's no way that I could have a personal, close relationship with you guys. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that I'm not eternally grateful for the fact that you guys have supported me the way that you have in the last 10 years. The fact that you guys continuously come out, and when things go wrong, you basically rally against the bullshit with me. You help me out. You allow me to continue to do what I love on a daily basis. It would be very hard for me to not call you guys my friends when you guys have helped me out the way you have. All right. Now, obviously, it's not a close personal relationship. You know, some people, oh, you know, I want to be so close with Phil. I want to hang out with him. It's not going to happen, you know. But for guys, those of us who, you know, digitally, we're here every day on stream and we're hanging out, we're having fun, we're talking and everything and having interactions. It's really awesome. I really do feel like I have a closer connection now than I ever did before. In the last year and a half, things have really turned around for me. I really feel that, like, I went from this guy who people hated for all the wrong reasons, and kind of it's changed to now it's kind of a fun, you know, positive place where you come and hang out, and people tell me all the time now when they come and hang out on my streams, wow, this feels so different from what I thought it would be based on this negative shit I hear about Phil all the time. And it's true, because it's not like that. This is a fun place. People get to know me better, and because of that, you know, I am grateful that you guys are supportive. So, are you all my close personal friends that we can all hang out with in real life? No, of course not. But do I consider you guys really, you know, positive supporters and a big influence in my life? Absolutely, and I want to say thank you guys for that, okay? All right. Toxic Toilet Juice cheered. He says, sunlight is good for you. That is true, and I did get lots of sunlight yesterday, so that was a good thing. Woomy cheered says, now that we're friends, I'm going to need about $3.50. Well, you're barking up the wrong tree there, Woomy. Sorry. HardyBuck5 did a 100-bit cheer. He says, Jak 3 is much easier than Jak 2, so there will be less rage. Well, that's good, especially after following The Simpsons Hit and Run this week, which, I'll be honest, I loved the game, but, hoo boy, was there some ridiculous stuff in that game, and I'm glad that I did finish it when I did, but now I need a more relaxed kind of a feeling rather than just sitting here raging constantly, so that's a good thing. The Lollipop cheered again. He said, from your point of view, do you think it's fine to get help from chat? And again, that you get stuck on not knowing what to do, because if you do say it's okay and it makes sense, people would be like, chat is ruining another playthrough. Well, you're right. Listen, Lollipop, from what I've determined over the years, there's no way you can please all of the people all of the time. Because here's the deal. Let's say I'm playing a game that's very cryptic and or very challenging because it's an old school game that maybe doesn't have a lot of the modern gameplay mechanics that we have today to make games more manageable for the common gamer. And I may get stuck on a part. Well, here's the deal. If I sit here and I rage at a part of a game and cannot get by it, and I spend 2-3 hours on it, there's a certain kind of person who would laugh hysterically and say, this is hilarious, this is exactly what I wanted, Phil raging and not progressing, har, har, har. That's the kind of person, I hate to say it, sadly they laugh at you rather than with you. Alright? But they exist. Then you've got the person who's like, man, I really just wanted to see Phil play this game. He's stuck on this fucking part of the game for a long-ass time. It's obvious he's not going to figure this shit out. I really like to help him out so we can progress and get stuff moving onto better and new content rather than just sitting here and seeing him suffer. Okay? This is a person who probably is a way more supportive in a positive manner of myself and me, my content, etc. They want to have, you know, fun and progression rather than just rage and being stuck. Okay? And it's a mix, right? You're always going to get that mix. You're going to get that natural mix. All right? What I would say is, do I want people constantly holding my fucking hand? Of course I don't. I want to legitimately experience these games and have fun with them. Every waking moment, I don't want someone jumping up and saying, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. Oh, that's easy, do this. Here's a trick for what's coming up next. No. I'd rather tackle everything legitimately. All right? And then, if I can't figure it out, then someone helps me. Perfect example here. Sims' Hit and Run. You know, there were some parts of that game that were very cryptic and very, you know, very annoying. There's no way I'm going to figure this out unless I try it 20, 30 times in rage. Oh, then someone in stream chat says, well, Phil, actually, the game doesn't tell you this, but if you take the first turn instead of the second that it tells you to do with the GPS, it's a shortcut that allows you to win the race easily, so you're not stuck on this race for like 40 minutes. Oh, good, thank you, and then I beat the race. And then some people in stream chat are happy. They're like, thank God, because we didn't want to see Phil get stuck on that forever. We want to see the rest of the game. And there's other people who are just negative dicks. They're like, we can't see him cry and rage for like a day. Me. And you know what? Like I said, you're always going to have that element, and you're always going to have that mix. It's unavoidable. After 10 years doing this, I know that. But I don't want it to be either of the polar opposites. Number one, I wouldn't want it to be where someone completely holds my hand in a game and I never fail because I'm constantly just being told how to play it. On the flip side, I don't want my streams to become, wow, everyone's a dick and no one likes me and everyone's just being nasty to me so that I can just rage as much as I do. And you know what I mean? Like, either way, to me, I don't think would be enjoyable. It's about finding that happy middle-of-the-road medium where you get everyone gets a little bit of what they want. The people who want the rage get a little bit of that, and then the people who want to see progression get that eventually. That's what I think the key to being successful is, okay? So, that's my take on it. For 10 years of being a content creator, that's kind of how I feel about it, okay? Alright, continuing on, Kate did a 50-bit cheers to Happy Taco Sunday, and shout out to Osmink with the fur mink coats. There you go. T-Grabber cheered and said, sorry about Red Faction. Pseudo GTA style games just never do well over time. Yeah, you know, here's the deal, is that Red Faction, when it came out, really was a revolutionary game, because I don't think in any other game had there been that level of destruction capability before. So people were like, wow, as an engine, an actual engine of gameplay, this game is revolutionary, very different, being able to just destroy anything. You know, in any game, you usually go to, oh, it's supposed to be destructible environments. Half the stuff is, like, invincible and shit. Not so in Red Faction Guerrilla. You know, that game really is fully destructible. So they did accomplish something pretty impressive with that game. But that being said, you're right. The game, I don't feel it aged very well. You know, we've seen so many other sandbox-style games in the last 9 years that have done it better, that have better story-based missions, definitely have better side-style content, rather than the repetitive shit that's in Red Faction Guerrilla. In fact, like I said, Red Faction Guerrilla now, in the modern era, just seems like a better streaming game if you're here to hang out and have fun with your viewing audience rather than caring about the game. That seems to be the main focus. You know, back in the day, I played it offline. I remember at parts of the playthrough hating the game and thinking it was very boring and repetitive and unfair. And honestly, just not having too much fun with it because of its shortcomings, right? But I ended up fighting my way through it and eventually reviewing the game. I didn't kiss the game's butt or nothing. I just gave it kind of an average review. So, playing it 9 years later, it's a cool, nostalgic feeling. But at the same time, modern reviewing audiences are like, meh, this is pretty boring. You know, and when people are interacting with me and having fun during the streams and we're talking, it's fun. But, you know, for the most part, trying to entertain an audience with that game is pretty tough. So, I agree with you on that notion. And I am going to keep playing the game, but like I said, it's going to be the game I play more sparingly. It will not be a main focus. Maybe every once in a while it'll be a main gameplay stream for a day, but I am going to try to more interject it at nighttime since it seems like people are getting bored of it. All right. Hardy Buck Cheers says, good thing you're playing Jak 3 on the PS3. On the PS4 version, they botch it. Terrible frame rate and glitches galore. Well, I already have this collection. As I said, I've had this collection for a long, long time. There's absolutely no reason for me to rebuy the game, so I'm just playing it on the PS3 collection. There you go. Dusty Dead cheered. He says, since this month is dead, why don't you play indie games like RimWorld? That game would be hilarious. Probably because I never heard of it, and not a single person has brought it up with me besides you. So there you go. I gotta go with what people are interested in. Woomy just cheered and said, what's the gameplay to increase revenue, satisfy investors like myself, and still make enough money for you to get a Klondike bar? All right. Well, what I can tell you is this. Seems to me on Twitch, the key to success is having a game that's semi-entertaining to the viewers, at least semi-entertaining, plus maintaining that interactive relationship with you guys. Seems like as long as the game is kind of interesting, plus I am able to, talk with you guys and have fun interactions, it seems like the streams always turn out well. The one exception would be when you're playing a game that's just really is dirt boring. Even if I'm interacting, people get bored, okay? On YouTube, I don't think there's a key to success on YouTube, because YouTube has fallen apart so badly in the past couple of years. It just really is a cesspool at this point. Especially for someone like me, who's a Let's Player, and I'm not someone who had catered to the YouTube norms and completely changed my content to get artificially new views from children. Since I didn't do that, I kind of struggle with where my channel goes, and I usually do get a big influx, a big positive influx of viewers whenever I play a hot new AAA release. Outside of that, pretty much no one watches anything on YouTube at all, and that's the God's honest truth. Like, even if I do a retro throwback playthrough like oh my god, feels like Dark Souls or Bloodborne again, no one watches it on YouTube. People will come out to the streams, but no one shows up on YouTube to watch those because, for whatever reason, people will only watch new shit on YouTube. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. So I just gotta kind of shrug. So really, I don't think there is a gameplay recipe that's gonna become success everywhere. I really do feel like everything is different, and I do feel like I said, the Twitch audience is super different from the YouTube audience, and it's impossible to cater to both. So you just gotta kind of go with the flow and say, listen, I'm gonna do a combination. I'm gonna play what I like, but I'm also gonna every once in a while do challenging things my viewers want, try to entertain with the gameplay, but also have interactions. And whatever happens on YouTube, and just kind of shrug. Like I said, my actual end goal is to make it that my Twitch is profitable enough I don't have to worry about what happens on YouTube. I'd rather rely on you guys liking what I do here on a daily basis and funding that effort, rather than worrying about fluctuating ad revenues on a website run by people who don't know how to do their jobs well. So, there you go. Okay, Kate just cheered. She says, Phil, the heat wave in LA is ridiculous. You are lucky. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Like I said, it is pretty hot here in Washington. It's around 80 degrees. And this week it's going to heat up to between 80 to 90 degrees later in the week. And I've got my air conditioner pumping. We are in the, this is the summer heat wave. What can you do? We usually get it, mid to late June, so a couple times in July, and then usually a couple times in August. Then it finally starts cooling down around late August, early September. But I do wish you the best. I hope you cool down. All right, Lollipop cheers. He says, in recent, let's see here. In recent wait a minute. I'm not reading this correctly. What is going on? Let's try this again. I've been seeing in recent playthroughs, sometimes you dance or say funny stuff or make faces. It's funny that you do some of the things that you claim fake YouTubers do. It shows that a person who does like games can be interesting to see. Listen, here's the thing, Lollipop. All right? And here's the difference between what I say, and do, and versus what I'm criticizing. Because again, when you oversimplify something, you basically definitely misinterpret it. All right? If you're genuinely playing a game and something crazy and zany happens in the game, and you react to it in a crazy or zany way because it's so over the top, that's a legit reaction. That's fun. That's always what I've been about. Having legit and fun reactions to stuff going on in games. If you've actually watched my playthroughs over the years, I do sing every once in a while when I'm in a good mood or there's something going on in the game, that warrants it. I'll sing during it. I'll make a silly face if something weird is going on in a game, but that's all genuine reactions to what's going on in the game. In general, if you watch my content, you'll notice I'm not doing it every 3 seconds. You know what I mean? I'm a very normal guy who will have very normal reactions, sometimes over the top to things that are ridiculous in the game, or if I'm really angry at a part of a game that I've died on a million times, yes, I'll lose it and I'll rage and I'll swear and I'll flail my arms just like anyone else would. But I'm not doing it every possible fucking second, and I'm certainly not making a montage of my content to only highlight those over-the-top moments. That's the difference between me and the people I criticize on YouTube. When I say top gaming YouTubers who act like cartoon characters, I literally mean it. These guys purposely dress a certain way, dye their hair a certain way, act and talk a certain way with certain mannerisms, certain over-the-top reactions, screaming at the top of their lungs, jumping, flailing, doing weird things constantly on camera to become a cartoon character that children will watch. Why do you think PewDiePie is popular? It's not because he was some intellectual fucking guy who added anything to games, because back in the day, he acted like a cartoon character. He kind of looks like a cartoon character, and kids watched his cartoonish content, and he became virally popular. Now, am I saying innately that content is bad? No. There's a place for it. There's obviously an entertainment factor, all right? But personally, as a 36-year-old adult, I don't like that content. And so it's my personal opinion to say I don't like that, and it's up to you to determine if you like it or not. But I don't support that content. I don't like it. I don't think it's genuine. I think it's purposely fabricated in order to create a certain younger viewing audience to come and watch a video and basically make those people rich, which I think is preposterous because, as I've said many times, the ad revenue on YouTube is not catered towards children. The advertisements running on those videos is a lot of the times for adults. You know, I'm pretty sure a kid isn't going to run out and buy a fucking SUV. You know what I mean? But if you watch the advertisements on Grammarly, oh yeah, learn how to properly write and read. Children aren't going to purchase Grammarly, so why is this running on a gameplay video a child would watch? And that's the problem with YouTube's ad algorithms. They give ads to people who are making content for people who don't buy shit. And that's how these people became popular and became rich. And it's ridiculous, in my opinion. But again, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. You know, I'm certainly not trying to personally insult anyone or anything. I'm just saying, if you're constantly overacting and you're constantly overdoing it to cater to a younger audience, well, that's not content that I support. You know, if it were a valid reaction, right, that would be one thing. The problem is these people aren't doing that, and they know it. I mean, just look at their content for 5 minutes, and you'll see how ridiculous it is, right? So there you go. But anyway, that's why, you know, again, what you're saying, Lollipop, and your cheer is incredibly simplified. You're trying to make the world black and white, which it's not. It's not. Every single person who makes a face or has an over-the-top reaction or whatever is a clown. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. I've never said that. But you're making it oversimplified, probably because you're trying to make me look like a hypocrite, which I don't appreciate. But it is what it is. You're always going to have people like who are going to try to spin shit negatively, instead of actually intelligently and logically applying logic and reason to an argument. You just try to make it black and white, and it doesn't work. And you'll learn that when you get older. But I think you got to mature up a little bit before you understand stuff like that. Okay, Timbo Slice has resubbed for the 2nd month in a row. Thank you very much, Timbo Slice. I appreciate that. John 3 just did a 95-bit cheer. Okay? And John 3 says, here's to you, Phil. Since this is the final stream I can catch in a while, my army is starting tomorrow. Well, John, I wish you the best. I really do. I massively respect anyone who is in the armed forces. I don't know if you actually are an American or not, but I just wish you the best. Be safe, and thank you for serving. No matter where you're serving, it is a very, it's a thing of great sacrifice, and people should be very respectful to those who serve, because it is not an easy decision to make, nor is it an easy thing to do with your life, to actually give up years and years of your life and risk your physical safety and or even your life, you know, for the ideals of a country. So thank you for that, and good luck. All right. Shout out to Woomy, who says, I put money in an envelope, I write DSP on the envelope, I put it in the mailbox, hope it's helping out. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. PS Geek did a 120-bit cheer, which, by the way, makes PS Geek the top cheerer for today. So let's get PS Geek up here on the leaderboard. Hold on. Here we go. 23, yes, 23. Thank you for the 120-bit cheer, sir. And PS Geek says the following. He says, happy Sunday to DSP, you and Cat. By the way, I'm playing Donkey Kong for Switch, and I love it. Yeah, it's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, right? Yeah, it's a pretty good game. If I remember correctly, it's a pretty fair game. The only really tough parts, I believe, are the minecart challenges are pretty tough. You know, this coming from when I played it back on the Wii U when it was actually a new release. A lot of people don't realize that this game has already been out for a long-ass time. It's just that no one had a Wii U, so no one fucking played it. So, you know what? I guess in a lot of ways, it's a good thing that that they re-released it for the Switch since people actually own the Switch. Alright, Dusty Dead did a 50-bit cheer. Thank you, Dusty Dead. Timbo Slice cheered. Says, you prefer a huge donation as a tip or the 2-month delay of a cheer? This past week you had huge cheers, but you'll not see them until September. Well, here's the truth of the matter. It doesn't really matter how anyone contributes. And there's so many different ways. Patreon, Teespring, cheering, subbing, tipping. All these things are great positives. And I appreciate all of them. Alright, I really do. For me, in the early times of a month, especially a month like this month where things are tight because last month I dumped all my money into my state taxes, okay? Tipping helps because I get it right away, all right? In general, if I'm not during a month where everything got emptied out completely, it doesn't really matter, right? You guys can do whatever you want. It's cool because some people choose to pledge on Patreon and get perks. Some people buy merch. Some people want to get instant gratification on a stream. All those things are, you know, big positives for me, and they help you. It doesn't really matter. What I would say is really it's personally to what you're looking for. Some people have actually asked this last week. They said, why do some people cheer versus tipping, right? Well, some people want to get on a leaderboard, right? There's a top 10 cheers leaderboard, right? Maybe they want to get up there. There's an all-time cheering leaderboard here on Twitch. Maybe people want to get on there. That would be a reason why someone would cheer over doing something else. Let's face it, there's no leaderboards for tipping. There's no ongoing tracking for tipping. There's no leaderboards for tipping. You know, it's outside of Twitch, so Twitch certainly isn't going to put any time or effort into, you know, tracking those things. And for me to manually count every single tip would be impossible. So, you know, it all depends. Are you looking more? I mean, if you're getting recognition plus you're supporting, it's kind of like you get something out of it and I get something out of it. Versus those who tip, yes, they get instant recognition, but they don't get ongoing recognition. So in that case, it's kind of more about, well, I just want to help Phil, I guess. You know, like I said, everything's different. And the other thing is, a lot of people don't realize is Patreon, Teespring, they all take a different cut of profit. So, you know, I never really sat down and on paper did these mathematical ratios to figure out, all right, in this particular instance, this is absolutely the best way to do this or that. And I never did that, okay? But in general, like I said, right now, tipping's the best. But after a couple days, it won't matter anymore. All right? So, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't have any preference. Whatever you guys want to do, whatever's easier for you. You know, I appreciate people going out of their way at all. All right? Okay. Let's continue. Wow, we got a lot of support today, guys. Thank you guys very much for a very supportive morning. We're still going. I still got pages of stuff to get through. AES did a 25-bit cheer. He says, a YouTuber recently made a video about The Last of Us 2. He took a clip, or it doesn't say he, it just says they took a clip from one of Neil Druckmann's videos out of context to make a statement. So it reminds me of what your detractors are doing on a daily basis. It is a shame. Well, thing is, AES, I literally cannot comment because I have no idea what you're talking about. I know nothing about the situation. But yeah, sadly, people do tend to take shit out of context. They do. And it's sad. It's absolutely sad when you get a situation where someone will spin something in a way that they know is not truthful in order to get attention for themselves or benefit for themselves at the expense of someone else. I'll give you a perfect example. There's a YouTuber who literally constantly makes videos about me and says completely falsified things in the titles of his videos. One of the things of his video is titled, Phil Rage Quits Extinction. That was the title of a video. But wait a minute. Rage Quits Extinction? If you guys don't know, Extinction was a game, indie game I played a few months ago. Alright. I actually played it in its entirety. I'm one of the very few people who actually played this game to the end. Most people quit it because they hated the fucking game. It's so bad. I actually toughed through the game and beat it. Yeah, there were moments of rage, but I did not rage quit it. Literally, it is 100% factually incorrect to title a video and say Phil Rage Quits Extinction. It never happened. So that's a perfect example. Oh, what they probably did was took a moment of rage from the playthrough and said, oh, and then he stopped playing, which is completely a lie. But that's insanely dishonest. Okay? Insanely dishonest to do to get attention for yourself. And of course, I'm sure that video got massive clickbait, right? Massive, massive clickbait. Probably the guy made money, right? Now, I would say, well, Phil, why don't you stick up for yourself, Phil? Because there's nothing you can do. You can't strike him with copyrights. YouTube won't take a video down. If you flag it for misinformation or bullying, 99% of the time, YouTube doesn't give a fuck. Because they're all automated. Their whole system is automated. They barely ever have a human do anything. So, it's ridiculous. There are entire channels, you know, designed that are made for making fun of me and or taking shit that I say out of context to make me look bad. And people have, I know for a fact, people have told me they've reported these channels for bullying, for slander, misinformation. None of them get taken down because YouTube, quite frankly, doesn't give a fuck. Unless YouTube actually gets a lawsuit in their face, they won't care. So to them, oh look, someone's taking a video of Last of Us 2 and literally doing it out of context to say nasty shit. They don't care. Their entire website is based off of drama and sick shit like this and toxicity. Most of YouTube's popular shit is garbage because of this, and they don't care. They feel like they have no responsibility to police any kind of content on their site, which by the way is illegal, but no one has successfully been able to take them to task for it yet. I really feel YouTube is not going to be around forever. I'm serious about this because the way they run their business is not sustainable. The only reason they're still around is because they're funded by unlimited Google money. And it's only a matter of time before either Google pulls the plug and says, enough of this shit, you guys just don't make money anymore. Or until someone sues them into fucking oblivion. It's going to be one or the other. And so I am happy, you know, when you hear behind the scenes that there are other companies working on stuff, for example, Amazon on their own website, that hopefully, if and when that website does exist, they won't put up with this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like right now, you can't even search for me on YouTube without seeing a bunch of slanderous negative shit. Hopefully, if a new website comes out and that shit trying to happen, they'll shut that shit down. Because the bottom line is on Twitch, they don't want that. If you actually watch, you know, Twitch's terms of service, they don't put up with that shit. They don't. They can't. They don't want people being that kind of nasty and toxic to each other. And they police that stuff. So if Amazon were to open up a new website for videos on demand, I would hope that they would adhere to the same criteria. Seriously. So that being said, guys, it is what it is. Hopefully, things get better in the future. But who knows? And, you know, you're always going to have this. You're always going to have these people on YouTube doing nasty shit, taking stuff out of context because they get personal reward from it, and there's literally no consequence for it. That's the problem with YouTube. Okay? All right, shout out to Blaine007, who just tipped me $10. And that was it. He didn't even say anything. He just tipped me $10. What's up, Blaine? Good to see you. And thank you very much for the tip. Like I said, today tips are helping me more than anything else, so thank you very much, Blaine, who is now up on the leaderboard as not only the top tip, but the only tip of the day for $10. Thank you. All right, Woomy just cheered. Says, yes, I meant to say game plan. The Squid investing team will continue to put some coins, but is very cautious and investment further into DSPGaming. Okay. YOLO Dopper just resubscribed for the 7th month in a row. Thank you, YOLO Dopper, for 7 months of support. Woomy cheered. Said, yes, do worry about putting good content here and worry about the coins and pocket later. Do find ways to make billion-dollar bills, but don't make it the number one thing. I agree. For me, I've always said this. For me, yes, money is a priority. It has to be. I have to pay the bills to stay here and do this as a job. But if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, if I don't feel the content I'm putting out is entertaining or fun for me or you, then I don't think there's any point in doing it. You know? Why do you think, guys, I still have stayed true to my colors? I don't do the highlight reel kind of shit. You know, I don't cater to all the YouTube tropes that make things, you know, popular. I never have, and I'm never going to. I am who I am. You know, and I'm happy that after 10 years, I'm still here and able to do this for a living. While many, many other people have had to pack it up and or completely change who they fucking are in order to keep it going, I don't have to do that. I can just, you know, do what I love and keep going thanks to your support. So thank you for that. I'm at Fuchsia cheered. He says, well, you know, the Game Grumps don't act wacky and zany and they're successful. Well, good for them. Good for them. You know, when Game Grumps were first getting popular, you guess what? They were, you know, very heavily being compared to me and John Rambo. You're saying, wow, when the Game Grumps do stuff, it's kind of like when Phil and Rambo do co-op, right? Sadly, what I hate to say is that during that era, when Game Grumps were coming up, I was on the way down. Basically, my style of unedited Let's Plays was not popular anymore. People wanted the more highly edited stuff for people with low, I hate to say it, low attention span. Can't watch any dead time, guys. We got to just watch fucking edited videos, right? And there was a big negative backlash against me because of things like my Metal Gear Solid playthroughs, which launched This Is How You Don't Play. So you basically had an era where someone who was kind of similar to what John and I were doing were on the up and were adhering to all the very positive things that were going on YouTube. Like, for example, oh, we're going to do edited content. We're going to do custom thumbnails. We're going to do special events and this and that. You know, they were very much jumping on the popular things that make videos popular on YouTube. Well, I wasn't. I was just adhering to my old school formula of raw Let's Plays, and people were basically destroying me on YouTube and my rep with slanderous videos. So that was kind of like the era where it flipped, you know? So there you go. You know, I fully agree. There are people who can be successful on YouTube without, you know, overacting or whatever. But it's very rare. It's very rare. And by the way, hate to say it, Game Grumps are popular. Are they the very tip-top guys? No, they're not. Even though maybe they might deserve it, they're not. Okay? All right. Shout out to Kate, who cheered and said, are you excited for the new Spider-Man game? Yes, I am. Looking forward to it in September, right? Hopefully it's good. Game Master used Phoenix Down, did a 137-bit cheer. And Game Master is now the top cheerer for today. So let's get Game Master up on this leaderboard. Hold on a second here. There you go. Game Master has now become the top cheerer with one of the longest names ever. I do like his name. It's just really freaking long. Did I spell it right? I think I spelled it right. Thank you very much for that. Excuse me. All right, Lollipop cheered, says, you're right, Phil. I can understand where you're coming from. Sorry if I sounded bad with what I had said. I had fun when you did it. Happy streams as always. All right, thank you very much. All right, Triagemi? Boy, I cannot read this name. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. But he cheered and said, Phil, you got lucky. I'm trying to buy a house in Washington State, but now they all cost $300,000 or more, even for a small shack. Baby boomers really destroyed the housing market for our generation. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true, and this is what people don't seem to understand. Still to this day, people are like, man, Phil's financially in a bad position. He really screwed himself when he moved across the country. He shouldn't have done that. If you guys don't realize it, you know, what I did was very smart, because I did research and I found out that the houses in this area were very, very exponentially growing in value. And what I keep telling you guys is very true, that if I can tough through the next, say, 2-3 years, and I can keep paying my bills, I can pay my taxes, I can stay where I am. And I'm not, by the way, I don't have money, so I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of money or grow and do fun stuff that I want to do, like go on a vacation. None of that. I just have to tough it out. But if I can tough it out for several years here, the value of my house is going to keep increasing, and hopefully I'll then be able to use the equity that I have in my home to pay off a lot of my debt, and then I'll be back in a good position, and I won't have financial troubles anymore. But I have to tough it out. That's what I'm really trying to do right now, is stick with it. You know, if I could stay here for another 2, 3, 4 years and tough through a few tough years where, yeah, things will be very tight and we're going to live tentatively. I'm sure we're going to have financial issues every once in a while. Like you guys know, every once in a while I got to bring shit up and you guys help me out. But if I can get through all that and the home value keeps going up, I should be all right. All right? I knew what I was doing. I was looking at home values in Texas and Florida. Those were not doing well at all. And I was like, now, wait a minute. Washington's the opposite. Washington State is the hot place. All younger people are trying to come out here to work. A lot of the reasons because of Seattle, and there's a lot of tech jobs out here. It really is a place, good investment for property. All right. So, yeah, even though right now things kind of suck, if I can fight through a lot of the hardship I'm in now, things are going to turn out better in the long run, and that's what I'm striving to do, okay? All right, Bent Boxer cheered. He brought up some a negative detractor. Sorry, Bent Boxer, that's not allowed, and I'm not going to read your comment, but I do say thank you for your cheer, all right? Random Ron cheered. He says, get Pornhub to make the site separate from Pornhub. They have web traffic for it. Pornhub Gaming. I don't think that's going to work for me. I'm just saying. T-Grabber. T-Grabber cheered. Wow, is this true? T-Grabber just cheered. He said, funny enough, people are now making This Is How You Don't Plays about Game Grumps, and now people are starting not to like them. Are you serious? Dude, if that's true, that's fucked up. And I mean that, because I've been through it personally, and I don't know the Game Grumps whatsoever. I know nothing about them. Like, I don't know them personally. I've never watched their videos. But if that's the truth, that's fucked up, and that pisses me off, because I personally went through it myself, and I know how fucked up it is when people do that shit. So I honestly, even though I don't know anything about these guys, I hope that's not true. I hope it's not, because I would not want anyone else to go through what I've gone through. You know, being a content creator that was loved by the masses, one of the top guys at the time, and because of a bunch of slanderous, negative dicks, and YouTube's inability to control their site from toxicity, turning me into a villain, basically, I would not want to see that happen at all. Alright? That is awful. Ridiculous. Okay. Let's continue. Dusty Dead cheered again. I don't know what he's saying, so I'm not going to read it. But thank you, Dusty Dead, for the cheer. Kate just cheered. Said, I know I'm cheering a lot, but I want to show my support. Sorry if I get over the top with cheers. You're fine, Kate. In fact, I haven't really noticed that you've cheered too much. You know, you seem to be definitely along with everyone else here, which is fine. Woomy just cheered. Said, all hail the naughty squid. Praise the naughty squid. And then did a squid emo. Or not a squid emo, but a squid assy code, of all things. I'm Mad Fusion cheers. People are comparing you to Aaron because of your attention span. Well, I have no idea who Aaron is, but okay. Eternal Napalm cheers. And what about Mixer Kappa Kappa? Let's not talk about that. I love Twitch. I don't want to be streaming on any other service. And let's face it, no one uses Mixer anyway. Ben Boxer cheers. In the future, do you plan on refinancing your mortgage? That's actually what I want to do, Ben Boxer. What I want to do is I want to hold out, even though I'm in a bad financial position now. I want to hold out to the point where I have a lot of equity built in my house, because I have good equity now, but not enough to use because of the incredible amount of debt in my name. I want to build up enough equity in the home that I can refinance the mortgage and put all my shit debt, right, all the stupid credit card debt and all this crap into the mortgage, which will dramatically reduce my monthly payments and raise my credit score, to which case, guess what? I'm liquid again. I'll actually be able to have money and do stuff. Because the bottom line is, it's not that I don't make a lot of money, it's that I'm in too much fucking debt. I'm up to my eyeballs in it. And I gotta find a way out, and that's really my way out, is to stick in here. Because the bottom line is, if I sell the house now, it's not enough to take care of everything. I'd have to finance a move, which I don't have the money for. You know, I can't get rid of my stupid, shitty, money pit condo in Connecticut. I'm stuck with that fucking piece of shit. So really, the only thing to do here is to hold out with the house in Washington here. So, Timbo Slice Cheers says, will you do the Black Ops 4 beta in late August? If it's available, but from what I'm to understand, you have to actually pre-order the game to get in it. I don't think you can just get into the beta without ordering the game. Kind of like Fallout 76 is the same deal, and I'm on the fence about that. You know, even though I really do feel I'm probably going to get Black Ops 4 anyway, I have a problem with having to buy the fucking game 4 months early. You know what I mean? Like, what's to say I don't pre-order Black Ops 4 now, then right before launch we find out the game's a stinking piece of shit for various reasons, I don't want it, but I'm stuck with it, right? So, more than likely, yes, I will be pre-ordering the game and doing the beta. I guess we'll see. Okay? Excuse me. Shout out to the Paradox who said, hey, Phil. Thank you very much, Paradox, for the cheer. I appreciate that. Random Ron just cheered and said, at this point, people are desperate to find a substitute for YouTube. Either you follow the same formula as every popular person, or you're already big to begin with. There's no place for growth for anybody else. And that's true. No, I agree. YouTube literally does change their site enough that now only a certain kind of content can get noticed and become trending in their you know, related videos or popular videos section. You have to abide by certain criteria. Sadly, it caters towards drama-esque toxic videos, and YouTube has done absolutely nothing to properly fix this problem at all. Despite massive backlash about the John Paul, or excuse me, the Jake Paul Luke Paul, Dick Paul, whatever the fuck his name is. I can't even remember his name anymore. That's how insignificant this fucking is. Logan Paul, is that his name? Paul Logan Johnson, Paul Face. Whoever the fuck he is, despite all the backlash that happened earlier this year, you've noticed there have been zero changes to YouTube, right? Nothing's changed. It's the same shit. They never improved anything. They pretended to care. They pretended to care, and then they didn't do shit. So again, oh my god, we actually have to change something. We'd actually have to put effort in instead of just writing another algorithm. Should we do it, boss? Nah, fuck it. Okay, and that's kind of how their business operates. So it is what it is, right? All right. Let's see here. Obi-Wan Kenobi just cheers. I like the picture of you with glasses. You look like part of the mafia. Yeah, part of the mafia. Right. Okay. iMad Fusion. Cheers said, rent out your condo on Craigslist. I've already explained about 4 million times why I cannot rent out my condo in Connecticut. It's not that simple. I want to. I actually do want to. But I can't because, sadly, I don't have anyone to take care of it for me. It's not just, oh, you're renting it, you're done. No. Someone has to be there to make sure that people are paying their rent. Someone has to be there to make sure they're not making noise and deal with issues with maintenance. Like, for example, if there's a leaky toilet, that's your responsibility to fix, not the renter, right? And I'm not there. And I've looked for rental agencies to take care of it, and no one will. But basically, any rental agencies that are reputable in Connecticut say, we don't want to deal with that area of Connecticut because there's a lot of high-risk clients. And basically what they're saying is there's a lot of shit people. A lot of people who just are not responsible and come in and sign rental agreements they don't abide by. They destroy the fucking places they're renting. They don't pay the rent. They make tons of noise and get into trouble. And they're basically so much of a nuisance that these people who run the reputable rental agencies don't want to bother with them. So a lot of the people who rent out there are either personal landlords who live there on site, or they know someone or have someone locally who deals with it. I don't have any of that. You know, the only people who would be able to do anything are my parents, and they're getting elderly. They can't go over there and do that shit. So that's why I'm stuck with this money pit condo in Connecticut. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Now Woomy says she wants some cough drops. Well, thank you for the cheer, Woomy. Being silly. Eternal Napalm did a 225-bit cheer, which makes him the top cheerer for today. He says, how much must someone's life suck to spend dozens of hours mocking and creative rip-off content of someone that they allegedly hate? Well, Eternal Napalm, what I hate to say is I think there's different levels of fandom. I really do, at least from what I can see from my 10 years on the internet, okay? And sadly, from what I've seen, is that there are people who are fans of people because they genuinely like them, and there are people who are fans of people because they actually don't like them, and they want to see the train crash. Let me put it that way, all right? There are content creators out there that people are like, wow, I know him. He's very, you know, from the internet. He's infamous. And then they want to go get a picture with this guy, right? They want to shake his hand. But then as soon as they go out of the personal realm of in real life, they go back online. They shit all over this person, you know, whatever. It's ridiculous. Like, there are some people who get their jollies trying to bring down others who were successful. So they look at someone like me. They look at, you know, someone who else kind of a similar situation who maybe has a following on the internet but isn't necessarily held up in the highest positive regard. It's time to jump on the bandwagon and crap on someone, right? So let me take their videos, edit them or whatever, and now you feel like you got an accomplishment out of it because you got thousands of views on a video that's complete bullshit just because you wanted to get attention for yourself because you couldn't do it for yourself. Nothing that a person does in one of those videos is any kind of actual talent at all, and that's sad. If they could actually get noticed for something they could do themselves, they probably would, but they can't because they have no talent. So instead, they just try to bring down others who obviously have talent, or they wouldn't be known to begin with. And that's a really sad, pathetic way to go through life, but that's how a lot of people do it. You know, what can I say? Like I said, they're different kinds of fans. And even though a lot of people hate me, I still have to say they're probably my biggest fans because they watch all my shit, you know? Alright. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, finally, after an insanely long pre-stream, we're no, wait! Kate just cheered again. She says, I call trolls on the internet thugs, because they only say shit on the internet. They never say shit to your face in real life. Yeah, I mean, and we would hope that they wouldn't, because that would be really dumb. Imagine if someone in real life actually, like, said or tried to attack you. Like, okay, so now you're going to go to jail. But that's the thing. The reason people are internet trolls is because they're protected by the internet. You could make a million slanderous videos on YouTube about people, and there's zero repercussions, right? You actually try to attack someone in real life, you can go to jail. So, big difference. Woomy just cheered, says, I was in La Cosa Nostra, a biker gang. I worked with loan sharks. I got my foot in the Swedish Mafia, and now I want to join the Squid Mafia. Yes, how did you know? My life of crime, right? My life of crime. Alright. Well, guys, thank you again for your very supporting pre-stream. Appreciate that. What I want to do before we start, I want to give a shout-out for the last time, because today is the day when it resets, as I've mentioned, to the top 10 cheer contributors for the week. Alright. Heading off in number 10. Hold on a second here. 10th place is Kate. Thank you, Kate, for your support this week. Number 9 was Russian Love Machine. Number 8 was Lav. Thank you, Lav, for your support this week. Dirk was in 7th place. Orange X Juice in 6th place. PS Geek was in 5th place. Infinite 55 was in 4th place. Then in 3rd, we had the Lord Lamb V3. In 2nd place, Emperor Swaggins. And sitting at 1st firmly, Aust Mink. Thank you guys very much for all of your support this week. Okay? And I do appreciate all of you guys hanging out on the stream with me, talking with me, having fun. And now we're finally going to start up with Jak 3. Dusty Dead just cheered, said, Big Spaghetti is a meme. It's a version of saying spaghetti. Well, I don't do memes, so please stop that. And Woomy cheers, this is totally not a cheer to delay gameplay. It's a simple record search shows all Felipe. I have no idea what that means. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for your support. That is it. Remember, a reminder, if you cheer sub or oh, you know what? One final thing I should do is check the sub count, because we did get a bunch of subs, and I want to see if the subs went up or down. They went way down. The subs are way down. Wow. Even though we got a bunch, because we did get a bunch of subs, the subs are way down. 447. It happens, because what that means is that a month ago, we had a lot of new subs in early June, right? In fact, in early June, if you actually look, today's what, the 8th? So in early June around this time, we were just about to start with my E3 coverage, and we were wrapping up some fun stuff, so it makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense. So, actually, now I remember that I was doing my History Street Fighter, I believe, a month ago. So a lot of people probably showed up to support the History Street Fighter event, and that's why we're seeing a drop in subs right now, right? All right, Woomy just cheered and said, take 10. I'm not going to take 10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end the pre-stream, and I am going to take a quick leak before we start, so that way I don't have to interrupt in the next 2 hours or so. I won't have to stop to take a break, and then we're going to start with Jak 3. Okay? By the way, Baby Jim Bob cheered and said, no game, more pre-stream. Bent Boxer cheered, he says, subs are dropping like Greece's GDP. The thing is, the subs aren't, like, decreasing sharply at all. They're up and down, up and down. Like, we get them way up, and then they dip again, then they go way up, then they dip again. You know, every time I have my day off, they dip. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Because, like I said, exactly a month ago was a Friday. So, on a Friday, the day that I started my History of Street Fighter, you know, event, obviously, subs went way up. But subs dipped yesterday because I wasn't here. See what I mean? So it's just going to happen. Just naturally, it's going to happen. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Let's end this pre-stream. I'm going to go use the restroom quickly, and then we'll begin with Jak 3. All right? Fair enough. Obi-Wan Kenobi just cheered. So tomorrow's my final day of being 26. That's right. Obi-Wan's birthday is coming up this week. Early happy birthday. And Baby Jim Bob just cheered. He said, at this point, I'm trying to extend the pre-stream to see chat reactions to it. There you go. All right. Let's end the pre-stream. Excuse me. Best compilation official says I need a couch that will double up as a toilet, so I don't have to use the bathroom. That's disgusting. Okay. Let us end the pre-stream, and then I'll use the bathroom, and then we'll start. All right, everyone. end this. I'll be right back.